Welcome to Bargain Bin Saturdays, where I review movies that I've purchased from the $5 bin at my local Walmart. We are once again returning to the 16 Storybook Classics collection put out by Timeless Media Group, and are taking a look at The Little Mermaid, which was originally released as part of a series called Timeless Tales. And that's about all I know about this movie, since the information on the internet about it is rather contradictory. I've seen this movie's release range from 1960 to 2007. I've seen sites argue that it was a DVD release, while others have argued that it was originally part of a TV series that ran in Australia in the late 90s. As such, I'm not sure when this 50-minute animated movie was released. Story-wise, this movie feels like a mess, to be honest, since the major plot of the movie has nothing to do with the relationship between the Little Mermaid Miranda and the Prince William, but everything to do with people dumping trash into the ocean. Outside the major plot point about the evils of pollution, the movie has a few minor subplots, such as the political marriage between the noble Prince William and a greedy princess of another kingdom whose country has been at war with his for over a century. Of course, this rival kingdom and its greedy king and princess have no interest in peace and only wish to acquire the contents of Prince William's royal vault, because his own vault is apparently empty.
What do you mean, Royal Cockle Counter? The Kingdom of Favours cockle-wrapped?
Exactly that, sire. There's barely a gold cockle left in the royal cockle coffers.
You impose new taxes on the people as I ordered?
Oh, yes, sire. Bread tax, water tax, and fresh air tax. Too little too late, I'm afraid, sire.
And while the marriage subplot isn't particularly interesting, since the princess and her father are obviously evil, at least it has some level of structure to it and a better delivery than the main plot of the previous movie. On the downside, the witch in this adaptation of the tale is highly disappointing. I now turn to my expert in all things evil to tell us how evil she is.
You're quasi-evil. You're semi-evil. You're the margarine of evil. You're the Diet Coke of evil. Just 1 calorie, not evil enough.
Thank you, Dr. Evil. If you could recommend anything to improve her evilness, what would it be?
Sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
Thank you, Dr. Evil. But to put my own spin on this issue is the fact that she isn't really evil. Mildly unpleasant, maybe, but I think her lack of evilness is shown best in this scene.
The potion will give you legs, but it'll take your voice away. I won't be able to speak. No, for a whole year, until the potion wears off.
As you just saw, the loss of Miranda's voice has everything to do with the process of becoming human, and nothing to do with an evil plot hatched by a malevolent witch. Geez, she even provides help to Miranda's sisters in another scene. Sure, she asks for a good chunk of their hair in return, but that isn't particularly evil considering she gives them rather nice haircuts, and at least some of the hair was apparently used in a potion to give Miranda her voice back for at least a little while. In terms of art style, this movie definitely feels highly dated, which makes me lean on this movie being a lot older than the 2007 release date for the DVD, which makes me a bit more comfortable with saying the original release for this production was back in the 90s. Though in terms of overall quality, I'd have to give it to the previous movie, to be honest. Many of the characters in this movie seem to be comprised of sharp lines and overly exaggerated features. In short, this movie feels like a low-budget cartoon than a low-budget movie, and some of the jokes only add to the cartoon feel. And I'll also have to question the size of the Mermaid Kingdom as well, since it only seems to contain one building. I'm not sure about the quality of the voice acting in this movie, to be honest, since I can't get over how annoying I find the voices of several of the characters to be. In fact, I was actually happy when the title character lost her voice, since I wouldn't have to listen to her for a little while.
That's my best ribbon! Hey, Miranda! Who's a pretty boy, then? Certainly not you, Acme!
Outside of my complaints about the voices of the acting talent is the fact that several of the songs and tunes in this movie are shamelessly recycled. In fact, they recycled a song sung by the little title character 4 times over the course of this movie. And while 2 of those occasions only include a few parts of the song, it doesn't make the song feel any less overused considering the short runtime of the movie. Timeless Tales, The Little Mermaid is a disappointment since it fails to tell the fairy tale correctly and instead focuses on shoving an environmental message down our throats. If I wanted to be lectured about the environment, I'd go watch Captain Planet, or at the very least this movie could have been titled Captain Mermaid and the Mermets or something. Though to be brief, this movie isn't worth taking a glance at in my opinion. It is vastly inferior to the adaptation of the story that I looked at in my previous episode of Bargain Bin Saturdays, and even that adaptation was inferior to the Disney version.